Hey guys, and welcome back to Sorcery. Last time we had a pretty good run of everything. We got some health back, we're doing really well, and this time we're finally gonna go beyond Biratani and see what lies there for us. So let's go ahead and move on. You rise early from your spot beneath the tree. As you gather your things, Jean leaps up and onto your shoulder. Ready to go? He chirps. His voice is going to change so much. I am so sorry. I cannot remember voices for the life of me. You rejoin the path on the far side of Biratanti. The sun sits on the horizon like a gleaming jewel. If all goes well, you will reach Torapani today, the last village in the Shamanti Hills. After a short climb, the path breaks, heading uphill to the left and downhill to the right. Let's ask Jean for his advice. Which way, Jean? To the right is a forest. To the left, the glowing is easier. The path heads through a field of black flowers to Torapani. What else do you know? You demand suspiciously. Nothing, protests the creature. And that's a fine way to talk to your guide. I'm not charging you for my advice, you know. You'll get no more from the creature. With Torapani so close, it hardly matters which way you go, surely. Let's go right. I'm curious what lies in the forest. We go right, you decide. Then be on your guard, Jean warns you. You climb a rise, the way is not too steep, and as noon approaches you have crested the ridge and are descending yet again. You are now at the highest point of the hills, where the trees are thin, the view west goes on forever, and sometimes you glimpse of Kar on the northern horizon. You decide not to stop and eat, but push on. Jean is in a talkative mood, over the worst of his headache from last night's drinking, and fills the air around with his chatter about what he can see and how things smell and what he plans to do once he makes his fortune in Kar. You pass from the open hillside into a patch of deep forest. Quite suddenly, Jean falls quiet and hisses in your ear. Stop! Stop now! Okay. You come to a dead stop. Jean is right. Something is moving through the trees behind you. A moment later, a point of steel has emerged from the darkness between the two trees and touches your neck. You've seen me, whispers a voice. I know it. Let's look into the darkness. You peer into the darkness of the trees, nothing, just shadow, and then you see. It's a shadow with two eyes. Who is there? There is no reply, but the tall, dark figure of an assassin emerges from the trees. He is just head to toe in black, and you had not seen him a moment before, even though he had been standing a mere arm's length away. He wields a sharp scimitar in expert hands. I guess it's time to fight. Alright, well, I would assume that he would have a strong attack off the bat. Yeah, I'd assume he'd have a strong attack off the bat, so let's go ahead and try to overpower that. Oh, we did not overpower. That did not work well. The assassin nods at you, raises his curved sword in salute, and takes his position. You measure the weight of your sword, then bring it up to deliver a cleaving blow. The assassin responds with a swing of dance-like grace and deceptive force. The air itself sings as the blade comes home. Your own blade is knocked clean aside. My duty is to sever your head from your neck, he tells you, in a voice as cold as polished marble. You will not hold me from it. Whoa, how does he still have power left? The assassin's quick jab is vicious, and he steps aside from your own swing. Sindla forgive you, he declares as he swings. The impact of his swing catches you in the kidneys. As he pulls the blade clear, he lifts you from the floor and kicks you in the stomach. He spins his sword about to shift his sword across the body. Time to attack. You rush forward with a deep, heavy slash, but the blow you land is only minor, because the assassin has adjusted his stance swiftly. You knock the assassin staggering into a tree. He is more surprised than hurt. Well, only thing to do now is to stay on the offensive and hope that he doesn't outcharge me. Good. The trees watch as the battle unfolds. Clearly Cleverly, you read his intent and attack efficiently. You sting with your blade, low and fast, saving your energy. But the impact clangs against his turned sword. He grins. He is left breathless, but otherwise unharmed. He's defended of 2 turns now, so now he'll attack. No, we both defended. Interesting. You drop yourself into a crouch, and he hangs back and watches you without emotion. The assassin swivels his grip. The weapon sings as it moves. Now he'll attack. No, really. Interesting. You hold firm and keep up your defense. His light blows sails over your head, moving with the deadly speed of an attacking serpent. You are mostly unharmed. The assassin laughs appreciatively. Now it is time to attack. I cannot read this guy. Acting quickly, you swing a masterful swipe, but the blow jumps back off his hilt of the blade. He grimaces with effort. He is bruised but not seriously hurt. Closing his eyes, the assassin murmurs a quick prayer and sets his stance. A prayer? Oh, that would have been bad if I didn't defend there. You whip up your defenses as he powers forward, but it only tires him out. You are mostly unharmed. You are weakening. The fight is becoming serious. The assassin flicks the blade through the air, crouching as he moves. That seems to be a defensive thing, so we're going to try to sideswipe. Oh, just barely won that battle. Leaping into action, you spike forward with your sword, mean and vicious, but his own move is fast and careful, and he is able to parry. Blood drips from the assassin's tunic. He curses under his breath. The assassin raises his sword above his head, crouching as he moves. Again, I don't think it's going to be that powerful, but it will be something. We're going to go for like 3.5-ish. Yes, okay. Hey, we won. Don't call me shameful. I mean, I know I couldn't read his moves, but come on. The assassin is ready to leap back into the tree line as you come at him again. He is off balance and moving slowly, and the blade goes deep. He turns and tumbles, releases his sword as he topples. I am not so proud as to not admit when I am beaten, he groans. You may finish me if you so choose, but if you do me an honor and use my own blade. The assassin is not dead, but lies on the floor, gasping. Let's spare him. Then get up, you tell him, holding your sword back, but not putting it away yet. He nods and sheaths his own blade. You are a worthy victor. I am glad to meet you. Now you have saved me. You owe me in part. My name is Flanker, and I am an assassin and a thief. Why did you attack me? It is a simple matter. I pick on wayfarers for practice in hiding and killing. I assumed you would be no match, especially when I saw your pet. He points briefly at the Minimite, who is currently hiding under a fold in your tunic. But I see I was wrong. He bows his head once, perhaps in respect, perhaps from the pain of his injuries. You are traveling to Kar, he asks. Why do you ask? That is the way I am going. Well, perhaps I will not see you again once we part now. But if I do, remember me. I will not forget the debt I owe you. I will remember you there. He bows his head again. This time it is definitely from pain. Go, he hisses. You cannot aid me. No, you reply. I have caused your wounds. I will help you. He grins with gritted teeth. Are you a doctor? I do not think you are. Tearing strips of dark fabric from his clothing, you bind his wounds tightly and the bleeding lessens. You are too kind to a man who is about to kill you, he murmurs. Let that be your lesson, you reply, as you gather up your things and head out of the forest, leaving him behind. You have a sense that you have made a powerful friend. How much longer do you think we'll be traveling today? The Minimite on your shoulder asks. I'm hungry and tired. We've gone such a long way. Not much further. The Minimite sighs and slumps on your shoulder. You continue along the path and around the side of a hill. A wooden hut is set into the slope, with an old woman sitting on the front step. A river seems to emerge from beneath her. As you get closer, you realize the water flows underneath her house, and the house itself is splayed on struts like an insect, straddling the watercourse. A few paces from the front of the house, the water plunges over the edge of a sheer cliff and disappears. "Greetings," you call. The woman looks up at you and smiles. "Come over here, won't you?" she calls. "I can barely see you." All right. You approach the old woman. She smiles a toothless smile and gets up from the step. "Come in, please," she beckons. "I get so lonely living out here on my own away from the villages." "Thank you." You follow her inside and take a seat by a long wooden table. "I'll bring some tea," she says. She sounds almost nervous. Hurrying to her kitchen, she returns with 2 large cups. "Watch it," John whispers in your ear. "I don't trust this one." Let's make conversation then. The tea is still hot. You cup it between your hands as you speak. "This is a beautiful place," you remark, watching the river outside the door plunging away over the cliff face. "This is the top of the crystal waterfall," she says. "The river runs right under my house. They say it carries all my goodness and youth away while I sleep, and the villagers bathe in it for luck." She giggles meanly. "I'm sure it isn't quite true." "What's your name?" "They call me Geisa Moon," she replies with a smile. "I used to be quite well known in my way." You nod, but you have never heard of her. "Why do you live alone? It must be more dangerous." "Oh," she smiles sweetly. "No one bothers about me. Why would they?" You smile and nod. You make to sip your tea when the old woman stops you, catching your arm before the cup reaches your lips. "Oh," she says suddenly, "I've forgotten the pot." She goes back to the kitchen to fetch it. So I can either drink it, I can switch cups with her, or I can make a run for it. Why do they keep telling me to make a run for it? That's so suspicious. I don't think I should drink the tea, but I also... I'm just gonna... This might be a horrible idea. You lift your mug, blow away the steam, and take a sip as the old lady returns. The old lady lifts her own mug and takes a deep gulp. Your own tea is gently refreshing. Then she splutters and coughs and grifts her side. Help her. "Something wrong?" "Oh, no," she replies, trying to smile, but clearly doubled up in pain. Stumbling and almost falling, she staggers to her kitchen and gulps down another drink. When she returns, she seems much better again. "I am not as young as I was," she explains. All the same, she pushes her tea to one side. "But tell me about you. You're a traveler?" "Yes. That's right, I'm going to Kar." She claps her hands. "How wonderful! Such a delightful city." "Indeed," you answer. "Tell me, on your journey you didn't happen to come across an old man, did you?" "I did. I've met a lot of them." "Not just any old man," she insists. "This one was carrying a page from a spell book." "No." You shake your head. "No, I met no one like that." "Really? That's a pity." She seems to think for a moment, then adds, "But do you have anything of a magical nature?" "Maybe." "Yes, a few things." "But no spellbook pages?" "What page are you looking for?" "Oh," she shrugs, suddenly seeming very old. "It's part of a spell of pest repulsion I once had, but I lost. It was very powerful around here." She waves you away without interest. "Go on. Go away." You step back onto the path. Jean lets out a long sigh of relief. She was one of the most powerful sorceresses in the hills," he whispered. "I could smell it on her. You're lucky you got away alive." You shrug. A harmless old lady. Or so she seemed. It is now late afternoon. You pass over the brow of the next hill, and below you is the village of Torapani, slung from one side of the valley to the next like a flood barrier. Torapani is a village of the Svin, an aggressive-looking race of man-orcs. You might expect their village to be rowdy, but it seems strangely quiet. Still, there is no way around it. You will have to go through. You enter the village. There is a definite air of depression hanging over the place. The Zvins are going about their business slowly and miserably and pay you no heed. You sit yourself down on a tree stump in the very center of the village to consider your options. Let's talk to them first. You spy a group of Zvins sitting outside a low hut, and you walk over and sit yourself down. They are discussing a friend, apparently killed in the night by an assassin's curved blade. Probably shouldn't say I met this assassin. Is that why you were all afraid, you ask? We afraid of nothing, retorts one of the Svin furiously. But no, much worse. Another Svin bangs his hand down on the table. But with Esh dead, who saved Tia? Who is Tia? Our flower. The Svin who answers wipes a tear from the corner of their eye, scratching himself painfully with an uncut fingernail. Tia is Chief's daughter, the other Svin says. Esh was to save her. Now Esh not alive, so Tia soon not alive. You need a new hero. We do, replies the Svin. Where we find one. He pretends to look under a nearby rock, and the other Svin laugh despite their sour mood. Trouble is, another says, our village die if Chief line end. Tia is end. So if end ends, we end. All very sad. Very sad, they all agree. Who you? One asks suddenly, as if only just thinking of it. He prods you in the chest. I am a warrior. Warrior! A sudden gleam enters the biggest one's eye. Great warrior. I do my best. Best is good. Mecca, Tifa. He signals to the others who are quickly on their feet, big hefty arms swinging for you. We take the chief. Before you can resist, they have you and are hauling you bodily on their shoulders. Jean clings onto your shoulder, refusing to be shaken free. Where are you taking me? The Svins carrying you give no reply. Then you reach a low hut on the edge of the village. You are set down, carefully. Oh, looks like we're captured again. The door is slammed and locked. A moment later it reopens and your possessions are thrown inside. Well, I guess we just wait to see what happens. You pull your knees up to your chest and wait. Jean goes to sleep immediately. The long watches of the night pass slowly, and in the end, nothing happens and no one comes. The aching in your empty belly gnaws at you with glee. I guess I probably should have eaten. Forgot. I didn't realize that would keep me up all night. Daybreak, you are still alone. An hour passes before you hear any noise outside, and then the door to the hut opens and 5 Zvin come in. They drag you roughly out and across the street to another hut, where an old man with gray hair sits. He is wearing outlandish, colorful robes. My name, Proclus. Chief. He slaps his chest twice. I apologize. Then he bows, brushing the dust on the floor with his sleeves. Tell me what you want. He holds up a hand. First, he waves to a menial who brings in bread and milk. Gratefully, you bolt down the meal. It does not seem to be poisoned, and it nourishes you. The bowl is removed, and the chief slots down in a pool of cloth. Jean cowers under your own cloak, hoping to go unnoticed. I have need of you and your strength. I will help if I can. The chief bows. I am grateful. My daughter, my child, she is taken, offered to a terrible demon below. You want me to rescue her? The chief nods. Succeed, and you may choose your reward. Fail, and... He shrugs. I'll do it. The chief nods. I hope you will. He gestures to the other Svins who, still taking no chances, grab you by the arms and haul you to your feet. You are led along a short pathway through the forest to a crack in the ground. One Svin has brought a rope and another a basket. They are preparing to lower you down into the pit of the earth itself. You will pay me richly for this. The Svins nod. The chief replies, We are poor, but we will try. Good. Watch the darkness, he declares as they start to lower you down. From your shoulder, Jean whispers, We're in trouble now. He shivers. You don't realize. You can't use magic with me around. And I'm not going anywhere. You hit the floor with a thud and peer into the darkness. Your eyes can make out nothing, but a slight breeze suggests endless space in all directions. You are blind, helpless, trapped. Something clatters to your feet from above. One of the Svins shouts something down to you. You crouch down and feel around your feet until your hand closes on the base of something. You pick it up. It is a dry wood torch. Something else falls from above and strikes you on the head. "Tinderbox," calls the voice. Feel around for the tinderbox. Rubbing the bruise on your head, you reach down and find the tinderbox. Light the torch. You strike a light and the torch blazes into flame. You can see now that you are in a large cavern, wide and deep. At the far end, passageways disappear to the left and the right. Through an uneven rock fall at the far end of the cavern, you hear a murmur. You clamber over the rocks at the edge of the cavern to investigate the sound. It is a whimpering coming from the other side of the pile of stones. The Svin girl, perhaps? She came in this way, but then the cave-in blocked off her path. You will have to find another way to reach her. Well, nothing to do for it but to try. You go left and creep slowly into the darkness, ears straining from the sound of the approaching threat. But all you can hear is Jean's quiet whimpering. The passageway slopes down a short way, then ends at a T-junction. 2 stones are stacked on top of one another against the wall here. There's nothing special about the 2 stones, except that they happen to be on top of one another. Let's go left again. You take the left passage. The tunnel twists and bends sharply, as if carved by a river now long since dried away. You lose all sense of which way is which, except to keep going forward, where the tunnel splits. There is a stacked pair of stones here as well. You slip through the opening in the left wall. The going is suddenly more difficult, and you realize the tunnel is climbing at quite a sharp gradient. Little stones rattle and roll their way downwards into the dark. At the highest point, the passage you are following finishes at another fork. As you enter, 2 stones roll away down the slope. You go left. The cave walls crush in close, as though the rock is squeezing you to death. Your shoulders rub against the walls. When you feel certain you can go no further, the path you are creeping through forks again. Another pair of stones are stacked in one corner. You take the left passage. You follow the passageway when you hear an echo of whimpering coming up the corridor. Your torchlight falls across a frail shape. Hiding in the shadows is the young Svin girl, stacking stones into hundreds of little towers. Look for traps. You run the torchlight around the walls of the cavern. No switches or triggers that you can see. The girl watches you with silent fear, and then the torchlight falls on a deep scratch in the rock, a claw mark. Suddenly, there is loud roaring from the mouth of this small cavern. The walls begin to shake and crumble. The Svin's stone towers topple and scatter. To one side, a gap in the rudder begins to open, letting through a mean shaft of light, but before you can head for it, the roaring sound is joined by a scream from the Svin girl. You turn slowly and peer into the gloom back along the tunnel. Is there something moving? Something coming closer? Perhaps the roaring wind rushing through the tunnels. Something is coming. Oh boy. You hear the scrabbling sound of claws on rock, and the exit from the tunnel is blocked by a dark and looming shape. A manticore. Huge. Terrible. It stands between you and the light and howls in bloody rage. Well, I can't use magic. The Manticore is a foul hybrid crafted by the evil sorcerers of old and steeped in bitter self-hatred. It has a lion's body and the tail of a scorpion, but its face is that of an old man, and its thoughts are cruel and resentful. As it sees you, it rears back, flapping 2 enormous wings on its back. Well, I can't use magic because of stupid John, but I guess I can fight. Oh no. Oh no, this is bad in so many ways. It has a lot more stamina than me. It's got a lot more power than me. Oh, this is bad news. Such bad news. I As it sees you, it rears back, flapping two enormous wings on its back. Honestly, all I can do is hope to overpower it and just try. Hopefully it doesn't dodge. Yeah, 11.6, there was nothing I could do. Oh my gosh. The fearsome creature paces forward, teeth bared. You are determined that you will not die down here. You plant your feet and ready an almighty sword swing. At the last moment, the manticore pounces, all claws off the ground and bared to plunge into your flesh. It takes you by surprise and wide open, knocking you painfully back. You are gasping for breath. The creature's relentless assault, its sheer rage, is almost too much for you to take. It can't possibly attack again. Oh my gosh. I'm dead. I am dead. I'm just dead. The manticore moves quickly and strikes so fast with its scorpion sting that you barely see it move and have only a single breath to respond. The Sven girl screams. Only then do you see the giant sting plunging down towards your forehead. In your weakened state, you are too slow to roll out of the way. The sting lands with the force of a hammer blow, piercing your skull. Let's try again. Let's defend this time. Now let's attack. Good. Okay. The creature snarls and snaps its jaws. You must finish this monster before it finishes you. With the rock wall at your back, you have no way to hide, but a perfect platform to spring forward. You race at the manticore, just as it punches its tail down like a hammer stroke. As it rears, you push your sword up into its exposed belly. The manticore shifts it away and opens its wide jaws, which look so human but contain an impossible number of teeth, each one dripping with a mixture of saliva and blood. It shifted away. Let's hope it's defending. It's got to, right? It can't attack constantly. Okay, good. Sidestepping, you slash out at the manticore, catching it a light blow. It curses you in an almost human tongue. The beast growls at you. The walls shiver with its fury. The Sven girl edges nearer, as if thinking of scratching the creature with her claws. I'm scared. It's scared, she whispers to you. You might not believe me, but you've scared it. Well, it would be good if it was scared so that it would just keep defending. Let's hope she's right. Good. Oh, that was way too close. Fainting left, you slice at the manticore, slipping a light strike past its outstretched claws. It is injured and angry. Now it's time to defend. Yeah. You can almost smell the creature growing enraged and drop quickly away. The manticore makes a nasty swipe with its fearsome claws, but you duck and escape real injury. The manticore chops and grinds its teeth, its expression an ugly frown. The last time it did that, it was defensive, so... but I'm also scared that it might be offensive. We're gonna have to defend next turn anyway. Good. -2. We're doing good. We're doing good. In the darkness of the cave, it is hard to read the monster's intentions, but you cannot wait forever. Standing firm, you swing a mighty stroke against the monster, catching the manticore a passing cut. Now we should probably defend. Maybe... No, we should just defend. Yeah, good move, good move, good move. You sense the creature getting angry and move quickly into a crouch. The manticore whips out its terrible sting, but you leap aside to safety. For a moment it is close enough to smell its warm, fetid breath. The monster rears up onto its back legs and opens its wings to fill the room. Another attack. You remain hidden. The manticore stays low and tries to ram you. You are gasping for breath. The creature's relentless assault, its sheer rage, is almost too much for you to take. We've got to try. We've got to try. We've got to try. We've got to try. Yes, come on. Give me a lot of damage. 3 damage. The Manticore laughs at you with a human expression of twisted joy. You risk an attack. Charging forward, you rush into the Manticore. At the same moment as it comes for you with its terrible sting, you cut into it like a butcher. The creature crashes against one wall. Rock dust pours onto its back, but as it tries to shake itself, it stumbles. You can hardly dare to hope. The foul beast is weakening. The creature stretches its wide jaws and roars. This could be the end of me if it attacks. Bad move, bad move, bad move. Warily, you move into a defensive crouch. The Manticore rushes you. At the last moment, you jump aside. You have silent thanks for your concentration. I just need to finish it. We can do this. We can do this. Come on, we can do this. Going. I had no choice. Round 4. It attacked. That was a bad move on my part. I have not scared it. I am so screwed right now. Okay, so it's constantly attack, defend, defend. So this is a defend. And then this is an attack. So I'm screwed. Okay, one more time. So I've determined, this is try number 5, by the way. I've done this battle 4 times. I have determined that it has a pattern of attack, defend, not counting this first part, where it always attacks full force, and then you can actually overpower it right here. Good. Now, from here, I believe it defends next. Yeah, see, a 1 is defending. And then now, good. So this line, you may not believe me that you scared, it tells me that I'm actually able to still do a good sideswipe because it's still going to defend. Good, 1.7. Fainting left to slice the Manticore, and then now it's going to attack. Yeah, and I am not able to counter that attack.
But now it's going to defend. Oh, it didn't. It attacked, and that was bad for me. Now it's going to defend. Please defend. Okay, good. Now it's going to attack. I don't think I'm going to be able to overpower it. I barely would have. Good, -2.
Please defend. Please defend. We're gonna be here all day if I have to. This is round 6. All day. I don't have anything to do or anywhere to be. I don't care. All day. All freaking day. Okay, now it should defend. Now it's still afraid, so it's gonna defend. Good. Now it's gonna attack. Now it's going to do something. It might even attack again. It defended. Still got -2, which is good. Now it should defend. No, it just defended. So that means it'll attack. Yeah. I can try to overpower it. Okay. That wings opening to fill the room actually seems to be defensive. This seems to be attacking. That seems to be defensive again, so we're gonna do... Yeah, the roaring and the stepping back is defensive. Good, okay, now it's going to attack. Roars is defensive. Okay. Now it's going to attack again. It's going to be about 5.5. Let's try to overpower it. Yes. Oh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's just try to end it. Yes. 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 I really hope that recorded. Oh my gosh. 6 times. Way too many times. Back against the rock, you deliver a furious stab at the foul creature. Your sword blade seems almost to be possessed. It finds its way past the Manticore's sweeping claws, through its thick hide, and down into its ancient, cruel heart. For a moment it howls loud enough to make the walls shake, and then everything falls very quiet. The only noise in the chamber is the hammering of your heart and the quiet breathing of the Sven girl. Then the Mennonite breaks out into a loud cheer, whooping and punching the air. You bow to him. "Thank you," the Sven girl murmurs, then tugging at your arm. "This way." She leads you towards the light, through a gap in the rocks to the pool of sunlight in the first cavern. "Let's get the heck out of here." You wave the torch, hoping to attract attention. Let's tell the girl to call up. "Girl, call to your father." The Sven child nods mutely, then bawls at the top of her lungs, "Prostius, I'm here." And something drops down, a rope with a basket at the end. "Get in together," the chief calls from above. "We'll pull you both up." Let's get in. You step into the basket and help the girl to climb her in with you. Ready. The Svens above begin to haul. The rope stretches and grows taut, but the basket doesn't move. The rope starts to make a squealing noise, and the basket lifts a finger width off the floor. Let's get out and let the girl go first. You step out of the basket and call up. "Haul away!" The Svens give a great cry and begin to pull again, and this time the basket starts to slowly rise, spinning as it goes. The girl waves to you as she disappears up in the sunlight. Then she is done. "Wait." A minute passes. Nothing. Wait. "They've left us to die," Jean whispers, shivering on your shoulder. Another minute. Still nothing. No sign or sound of movement from above. The tunnel echoes very slightly. Noise from the depths. Perhaps the Manticore was not alone. Start to climb. They have abandoned you, left you your fate. Disagreeable creatures. Their promises of gifts and rewards were all hollow. Setting down the torch, you begin to try and scale the rocky walls. It's a long and difficult climb, and you are tired. You cannot expect to make it, but you have no choice. But then a shadow falls across the entrance. Are they sealing it up? No. Something falls. The rope and the basket. You clamber quickly in, and they haul you up. Above ground, the chief himself helps you out onto the grass. His daughter's with him, clutching his hand. "My daughter tells you you fight bravely," he says. "For that, I grateful. I invite you with us back to Orpani. Will you come?" What was the deal with the almost leaving me in the hole to die? What was the deal with that? Let's get out of here. Oh my gosh. Okay. A little generosity cannot hurt you. You nod. I will come. As you enter the village, it erupts into celebration. You are given a place to stay and recuperate from your long journey. A visit to the healing priest treats your wounds, and when you emerge, it is to find the village, before so somber and silent, now in full life. Flowers are tied to every rooftop, and bands of the Svins are playing music on long, strangely shaped lyres. You are whisked away into the dance by Proceus's daughter before the chief can welcome you to the feast. The night is glorious. That night you sleep heavily and rise the next morning to continue your journey. The chief meets you before you go. My good friend, he declares, you have saved us. He presses 2 gifts into your hands. A pouch of 10 gold pieces, a fortune in a place like this, and a key. This opens the south city gates of Kar, he tells you. I hope it is use. You take your leave. The path winds away from Torapani, and soon you are on a downward slope away from the Shamanti hills through stepped rice fields. As you walk, you feel for the first time the loneliness of the path ahead. Though Kar is a busy city, it is cruel, and beyond Kar there is nothing but the vicious wasteland. You will have no one to trust in the days ahead. But what about my friend? For a brief moment, up on the hills above the path, you fancy you see a figure stealing its way along by some high and secret route. A figure all in black, but when you shade your eyes against the sun, whatever was there has disappeared. In the distance rises the wall of a great city, the first true stonework you have seen since the ruins of the giant city in the hills. From your shoulder you feel Jean hop away into the air. I didn't mind the Manticore, he hisses, but this place I'm afraid of. Take care. You'll need it. Then he buzzes away into the sky and is gone. You wonder if you will ever see him again. And I guess... Let's see if this is an ending place. I have a feeling. Yes. And there we go. Your journey through the Shamanti Hills is completed. Along the way, you have gained the friendship of Flanker the Assassin and been given 2 useful keys, to the cell of the Red Eyes and to the gates of Kar. You have collected a few magical artifacts, giant's teeth. You are still armed with only your original sword and have only 1 ration and 16 gold pieces and a spell book. Alright, we'll go ahead and end it there. That's officially the end of the first game with a boss battle that was extremely difficult, but we made it through. I'm really looking forward to see where these games continue on from here. I know that the save file actually carries over, so all of this stuff that I did here will be pertinent to the next round. So thank you all for watching. It has truly been an incredible, crazy journey through this very first Shamanti Hills, and I hope that this journey only continues to become more incredible as it goes on. I hope you all have an incredible rest of your day, and I hope that you soar high and enjoy your ride of life. Bye!